Welcome to the Greater Than Business podcast, where it's all about creating an amazingly successful business without sacrificing your quality of life, because life should be greater than business. And now, here is your host, Courtney Bedore.
This is episode 40 of the Greater Than Business podcast, and today we are going to be talking all about getting your business online and getting it online quickly. So obviously, with everything that's going on currently, or by the time this episode airs, everything that we have been going through over the past weeks, I wanted to take a minute to just kind of talk about how you can switch and get your business online, or perhaps take that idea that you've been debating on doing, that now all of a sudden you have time to start a side hustle and get that side hustle up online. And I want to give you very, very basic tips just to get you started. So these are going to be enough to get the ball rolling. They're going to be enough to basically teach you where you need to be spending your time and what you need to focus on as far as researching and learning how to do certain tasks. So this isn't going to be a full out tutorial, but it's going to be a place where you can start. And that is the most important thing. We want to get a start on getting your business online. And then obviously you will progress as you get further. So firstly, you have to have a business. So if you don't have a business or a business idea, then I want you to really think about something you could do or something that you're doing that you could charge for. So something where you could freelance. If let's say you're really good at drawing and you want to get into designing something artistic for people, then that is going to be what you would build your business around. So if you don't already have a side hustle, or you don't have an idea of a potential side hustle, or you don't run a business that you're looking to put online, then you need to obviously figure that out first. So there's tons of resources out there. Honestly, just Google like top 10 side hustles and you'll find some ideas. But if you're going to build a side hustle, make sure that it is something you are incredibly passionate about. So something that you would do whether or not people are paying you for it. And that will get you the motivation that you need to push through, because building a business sucks. There's no way to sugarcoat it. It's fun. There are highs, but there are lows. And it can become overwhelming. It can be very upsetting. Things will not go your way. Things will most likely go the exact wrong way opposite of what you wanted them to do. And that's okay. That is all part of the growth process and things that just happen. But that being said, I just want you to know that it's going to be hard. So make sure that what you're doing is something that you love and something that you would do if you're not getting paid for, because chances are for the first little bit, you will not be getting paid. So that is why right now, during this time, when we're all kind of stuck at home and we do have time, this is the moment to actually make something. And this is the moment to forget that you are too busy, because guess what? You're not too busy now. Unless, of course, you have a bunch of kids at home, you're trying to work from home, your spouse is trying to work from home, or you're a single parent trying to work from home, and you are drowning in all of that, which then, honestly, now is not the time to start a side hustle. Unless, of course, you really want to not sleep. But beside the point, this is a key time to figure out if you were just using that as an excuse to never start a business or never start something on the side, or if now you were really willing to find the time because you are no longer busy. You don't have that same amount of social engagements that are on your calendar, or sports commitments. Or for us, like, I know our life has become very simple and I like it. We don't go outside. Well, we don't leave our property, I guess I should say. We are spending more time cozied up on the couch. We are watching TV. We are playing games as a family. We are doing a whole bunch of things together. But if you are at the point where you also want to be doing something for yourself, then this would be the time to do it. So now I want to get into the nitty-gritty of everything that I want to talk about. So that was kind of just the intro and making sure that you have some sort of an idea or get the wheels turning. And I'll try to remember to link in the show notes some blog posts from other people that have top 10 side hustle ideas. And then that will kind of get you going, and something that you can basically kind of refer to get the creative juices moving. Okay, so firstly, what you need to do in order to get your business online and get it online quickly is to build a website. Now, it does not need to be complicated. It does not need to be pretty. It needs to be functional. And the reason that you want a website is because of these 3 key things. Number 1, you want a website so that you have a home online. Because as much as people say that you can run a business from Facebook, Facebook controls your business destiny at that point. You don't want to build up your entire business on a platform owned by somebody else. So that's kind of funny that I'm saying it that way, but Facebook would then own all of your prospects because they're all Facebook friends. Facebook would then also be in control of what you can post, what you can say, all of that other stuff. So you want to have social media accounts attached to your business, but you don't want to run your business from a social media account. So you don't want to be building up a following on Instagram and then have Instagram shut down tomorrow, because then you lose your business. So you want to make sure that you are driving people towards a website. Now, the best place that I can tell you to build a website on is actually WordPress, which is complicated and scary for non-techie people. And a lot of people will be looking to use a simple and easier builder. But what I want to do, and I am going to do an episode on this in a little bit. Let me just pop forward here. I've got some plans for the next upcoming episodes, and I want to make sure to let you know that on June 2nd, I will be releasing a deeper dive into website must-haves. So keep an eye on that. It will be episode 44. So 4 episodes from now. But what I want to just kind of give you a rundown on is you can get free builders that are like Squarespace, or I think GoDaddy might have one. When I first started out, I used a service called Weebly. I don't even know if they still exist, but it got my feet wet on starting to learn how to build a website. So it was a good spot to start, but I wish I had have taken the dive earlier and got onto a WordPress site, because obviously the builders on WordPress have improved drastically since I first started, but the ability to grow and use plugins and customize your site, you can't do it without WordPress. Squarespace can give you some ability to do certain things and plugins, not really plugins, but like third-party integrations, but I just don't find them as customizable. And for someone like me that is running a digital marketing agency type business, I need something where I can kind of have a Swiss Army knife. And for me, that is WordPress, because I can shift and I can pivot and I can do things a lot faster. I can go get a plugin if I want to start tracking certain things. And it allows me to build my business as big as I want it to go. And I don't have to worry about being held back by a service like a pre-built hosting service, I guess you could kind of call them. I don't know their exact terminology, but what I would suggest is getting your website on WordPress. Now, once you're on WordPress, it's going to look hideous and disgusting, and you're going to look really confused, but that is why you want to download a theme. And a theme is kind of a builder that allows you to drag and drop certain features instead of needing to hard code your pages or using their classic builder, which is disgusting once again. So you want to download a theme. And there's 2 themes that I find incredibly user-friendly. One of them is called Divi, and it's by Elegant Themes, I believe. Now that I'm saying that, I'm second guessing, but I will link to it in the show notes. And then the other one is Elementor. And both of those are easy drag and drop builders that mask the WordPress builder. So you can make them as easy and simple as a Squarespace builder, but you're on WordPress. So you can then incorporate with plugins and all of this other fun stuff. So that is key. Now, I've kind of gone a little bit off topic here, but the first thing that you need to do before you build a website is get a domain. So go to GoDaddy, buy a domain. You'll want to get the protection on it so that people can't look up all of your information on that. But I think the protection is like $19. It's not a big deal. And then buy the domain, which they range depending on the way that you are, or basically the wording of your company. So for me, I think my domain was like $1 for the first year, and then it's $14 from that year onward. So find a domain and find a .com domain. Make sure that you do that. You will save yourself so much stress down the line. And if you can't find a good domain that's .com, sometimes you can get .uk or .ca, or I think there's a .co, things like that. But most people, when they type in an email or a website, they always instinctively type in .com. So that is why you want to have a .com. So for me, when I was creating my business Flow Automation, I couldn't get flowautomation.com. So I had to get flowautomationinc.com. The reason why I did that was it was just easier. It allowed me to still have the flow automation that I wanted, but it was easy. So Flow Automation Inc. versus Flow Automation. It worked. So that is why I have that. And the only reason that I have the Inc. at the end is because Flow Automation itself was not available in a .com. So I made the decision to modify my domain name, but most people know when they're looking for me that they have to add the Inc. on the end. So with all that being said, once you have a domain, then you need to host your domain. So find a website that is a hosting website or a hosting service. There's lots of them out there. I will link some in the show notes for sure. My favorite and the one that I use is SiteGround. It is reliable. They are easy to talk to. They get back to you super fast, as well as they are cheap. Not cheap, but they are reasonably priced for the service that you get. And that is what I like. There are ways to host your website, like through GoDaddy, through your domain register, that kind of thing. But I would suggest doing it through a company that only works in hosting. I find them to be more reliable, as well as better customer service when something goes wrong, because they know exactly what went wrong 9 times out of 10, and they can easily fix it for you. So basically, the quick, simple steps to building a website and getting your business online are get a domain, make sure that it's a .com, get a hosting setup, get WordPress installed on your site, get a theme like Divi or Elementor, and then what you want to do is build a list. And building a list basically means collecting and gathering email addresses in exchange for something. So this goes back to Internet Marketing 101. In order to get someone's email address, you have to give them something. So create a little freebie, give them a 10% off coupon, give them 25% off, give them something in exchange for their email address. And then what you've done is you've created a relationship with that prospect, or ultimately the person on the other end of that email address. And the reason that you want to build a list is so that you have a way of communicating with people that are interested in your products or your business. And even if you don't have something to sell to them at this very moment, you can still build a relationship with them as you are building the rest of the stuff that you are trying to do to get your business online. So building a list is going to be key. And because you're using a service like WordPress, you can easily get a plugin that will allow you to collect those email lists. And then you can get way more fancy as you go on. And I would suggest using a service like Aweber at the beginning or MailChimp. Both of them are fairly reasonably priced, and they will allow you to send out mass emails to your list. And the reason that you want to do this is so that you can be in constant communication with your list and make sure that you're building your brand in a very consistent way. And you want to make sure that you have the ability to grow your list and communicate with your potential clients, because that is the way that you're going to build your business and get online and obviously get sales eventually coming through. And building a list allows you to also own your list. So building an audience in Facebook, you don't own that audience. If Facebook goes away, you lose all of your people. And then they're going to wonder, well, how do I get in contact with so-and-so because I don't have Facebook anymore? What do I do? And that is why you need the list, so that you can email people, so that you can get in contact with them, and then they also control that relationship with you. Because if they decide that maybe what you're selling isn't going to solve their problem, then they can just unsubscribe. No harm, no foul, it's good. I will get into the mindset of unsubscribes in another episode, but just remember, everyone's going to unsubscribe. You're not going to be everyone's favorite, and it's totally cool to have unsubscribes on your list. But that being said, you want to have some sort of an email management system so that you can send these mass emails while complying with all of the rules and all of that other stuff. So Aweber and MailChimp are super, super cheap to get started with. I will link to those in the show notes, of course. And then if you're looking for something, obviously, that is a little bit bigger, and that is when a service like Infusionsoft would come into play. And that is when you can actually automate all of your emails, and you can use it as a customer relationship management system, as well as a sales portal, which is huge for building a business online. But I'm not going to get into that. Once again, that is a totally different episode. This is just kind of to give you an idea of the steps and things that you need to consider getting your business online as fast as you possibly can. So the other thing that you're going to need on your website is a way for someone to contact you. So create a simple contact form on your website. Give them your email address. Ideally, if you can have an info@yourdomain.com email address, then that makes your life 1,000 times easier, because you don't have to worry about dealing with spam issues and all of that other stuff. If you can have your info or contact@yourdomain.com, then that will allow people to get in touch with you. It makes your business look and feel professional and established, as well as it gives you the ability to send those mass emails from services like MailChimp, Aweber, Infusionsoft, that kind of thing, because those services will not allow you to send from an @gmail or an @hotmail.com. Obviously, those are not reputable things for a business to be using. Like, they're fine, but it starts to look spammy because a lot of spam businesses will not put the time into making these proper email addresses and all of that stuff. And then once you get your email address set up, you can link it with G Suite. So it'll operate and function as if it is a Gmail address. So it's super easy to do. Eventually, I'm going to get some tutorials up online of how to do all of these little techie things. But for now, you can Google it. Look on YouTube. There's a bunch of tutorials that are already out there, and it will help you immensely in building your business and getting it online. So the next thing, I didn't want to spend that much time on website, but here we are. The next thing that you want to do is find out where your people hang out online and then build social media presences on those platforms. So if your people are primarily hanging out on Instagram, then you need an Instagram account. If you are dealing with a demographic or a group of people that are primarily on Facebook, then you need a Facebook page. You should look at doing a Facebook group, and you could also maybe make a secondary account like a Twitter profile or something along those lines, where you just want to make sure that you are sharing your content and getting your content out there to as many people as you possibly can. So building and owning, I would suggest 3 social media platforms, and really, really get good at using those 3 platforms. And make sure that you know that your people are on those platforms. So think about who your ideal client is going to be or is already for your business, and then find out where they are and meet them there. So if they're already on Facebook, go look for Facebook groups that have something to do with whatever your business topic is. Join those groups. Do not spam those groups with your website and your offers and all of that stuff, but join the group and try to contribute to the conversation in a meaningful way. And then eventually people will click back. If they're interested in what you're saying, they will click back on your name, they will look at what you do, and then they will go to your page, and there you go. Trust me, it's a slow building process, but it's something that happens daily, and it will eventually grow your business by leaps and bounds. So find out where your people are hanging out and make those social platforms. Make sure that they are branded. Make sure that they are cohesive with your website. Make sure that the color schemes are the same, the images are the same, like that kind of thing. Really, really brand it to whatever your business is. Then the next thing that you want to do is obviously create your products. So whatever it is you're selling, create them, get them online, get them on your website, and start selling them. So you can use a plugin on WordPress called WooCommerce that will help you to sell. I'm not going to get into a huge detail on what WooCommerce is, but you can Google it just the same as anyone else can. And then there are easy ways to collect payments, such as Stripe and PayPal. Both of those are going to be your easiest entry-level payment processing systems. I prefer Stripe because they charge me a little bit less and I get my money a little bit faster. But PayPal was what I used at the beginning and it worked fine. So I basically just switched because I have a currency issue and Stripe just allows me to control more of the currency because I am Canadian, but I charge in US dollars because US dollars are kind of the online world currency. So it is the main currency. So most people, when they talk about money online, they are referring to US dollars, just to put that in context. So the next thing after you've created your products is you want to create freebies. And those freebies are what you're going to use to build a list, what you're going to use to get engagement, what you're going to use to build up your know, like, and trust factor, and how you are going to ultimately grow your following by offering people freebies and a little bit of a taste of what you do with these freebies, or a discount or something along those lines that will bring people in the door and really allow them to start communicating with you. And then the other thing that I want you to think about is creating free content. So free content could be something like a podcast. It could be a video series. It could be just a YouTube channel with videos that are helpful and related to what it is you're selling and your business. You could go and do a blog series, a blog post, which I would highly recommend doing 2 different forms. So if you could do video and a blog, then that would be awesome. But basically, kind of take a look at all of the different free content that you could be promoting. And then obviously at the bottom of all of your free content, you want to have a way for someone to join your list and follow your business. So whether it be a call to action of going and liking your social media accounts or joining your list for a freebie, various ways of building your business that way, but you want to make sure that you have your free content out there so that you have something to share on your social media accounts, because you shouldn't be going on social media and only pumping the things that you have for sale. You want to be giving away free content, free resources that allow people to get to know you a little bit better by you giving them free help and free advice, or giving them a discount off of what it is that you're selling in exchange for their contact information, so that they're saving a little bit of money. And that's a good way to obviously promote yourself and in exchange get people on your list. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to buy, but it gives them the opportunity to make that decision and all of that other fun stuff. So the next thing is, obviously, after you have built your website, you have your social media presence, you've got your products online, your freebies ready, free content, and get on a consistent content schedule, obviously, because you will want to be producing content weekly at a minimum. And then from there, what you want to do is start using SEO and social media to boost your traffic to your website. So you want to make sure that you are hitting the right people, getting yourself in front of the right people, as well as becoming searchable. So if someone goes on Google and they want to find, let's say I was making fancy pen covers. And let's just say I had a business of making fancy pen covers. And I wanted to make sure that I got in front of people that were looking for a way to make their pens look fancier. So what I would do is I would make sure that I have plenty of posts on my website about pens and what I do, why I make the pens that I do, why I have these covers, where the idea came from, all of that fun stuff. And you want to make a very SEO friendly post, or a few SEO friendly posts, so that if I am a customer or a potential customer and I'm trying to find someone out there that makes fancy pen covers, well, obviously what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that into a search engine and I am going to see what pops up. And the whole goal of this is to hit the first page of the Google search results for a specifically worded question. So let's say I wanted to make a fancy, or I wanted to find someone that could make me a customized fancy pen cover. So what I would do is I would type in, can you buy fancy pen covers? So that would be a searchable term. What I would want to do is I would want to rank my SEO, or get my SEO ranking as high as I can for that search term. So there are plugins that you can get on your WordPress site that will help you to figure out your ranking, and they will help you to figure out how to boost your ranking. So there's one, I'll link to it in the show notes, that is super good. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but that is going to be something I'll link in the bottom or at the bottom of this episode, and I will make sure that I explain SEO and put some links in there as to what SEO is. But by doing that and then sharing your content on social media, once again, that allows people to find you. You can use hashtags on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook if you're joining groups, and then people keep seeing, they'll end up going to your page, and then they'll see these posts on your page. All stuff like that just builds up the credibility of your business and allows people to find you. That is the name of the game with an online business, is people are out there. There's millions of people online. They're all looking for things, and there's going to be a subset of people that are looking for exactly what you're selling. But the problem is they can't find you. So you just have to keep plugging away, and it's going to be a very long, tedious way of building a business. But once you get results, then you'll be amazed. So remember that you must always be boosting your traffic, thinking of SEO, trying to get your social media accounts to gain traction, but also remembering that you have to be sending people back to your website. That is why the website aspect of this is so, so important, because you want to send people to your home, essentially. And your home should be a website online for any online business. So the next thing I want to talk about is obviously sharing your content. So whatever it is that you are creating, so your products, your freebies, and your free content, whatever your free content is, you want to be sharing all of those things on a regular basis, consistently across all of your social media channels, as well as on your website. So if you are doing free content and you are making blog posts weekly, then what you want to make sure is that those blog posts are all related to products that you're selling, and that there's a way to make that natural progression from reading a blog post to getting a sale or selling your product. Don't make it too pushy, but just kind of let people know that there's more available if they are willing to pay a little bit more for whatever it is that you are offering. If you have a physical product business, what I would use blog posts for is basically explaining why your product is better, give some behind the scenes looks at how you're building your products, and that will give you enough content, and it will also let people see kind of what you do and what makes you different. And it'll also allow you to share your personality a little bit, because people will always buy from people. And if you have a really quirky personality and you're out there just being who you are, then chances are you are going to draw in other people that have a very like-minded personality. And that is why a lot of people say that, like, in the online space, you're trying to attract your tribe. So your tribe is your people that they love you no matter what you do, obviously within reason, but they are like your true raving fans. And that is kind of the whole goal of this, is you want to make a cozy place online for your true fans to be able to come hang out with you, see what you do, buy your stuff, get to know you a little bit better, get to know your products, get to know your business, get to know everything about you. And that is why you need to have a website, social media, be constantly creating free products, and really getting yourself online. And there is no better time than right now to try this. 100%. You will never have another better time than right now. So that is all I'm going to talk about for today. This episode has ran way longer than I ever anticipated or meant for it to go. This is, I think, my longest episode ever. but I think that it's really, really important because getting your business online is going to be something that will allow you to always be able to communicate with your clients, your people, and it's a way to kind of disaster-proof your business. Obviously, there are 1,000 things that can go wrong in the online world, but having a business that is online, and especially today, having it online is going to be the best move that you can make. So sit down, really think about how you can do this. If you have any questions, as always, you can email me. My email address is flow@flowautomationinc.com. And I hope to hear from you if you have any questions. If you want me to kind of brainstorm with you, by all means, I am happy to help. Just shoot me an email and we can work through some of these hurdles that you may be facing, because I can guarantee after an episode like this, your brain is going to be turning and you are going to have a lot of questions. So I am your resource. I am here for you. I have done it all. I've built it all. I've seen it all. And I am 100% happy to help. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I'm slowly getting back onto a better schedule now with some more concrete and productive episodes coming up. So our next episode is episode 41, and we will be talking about emailing with a purpose. So how to email your list and why and the messaging and all of that other stuff. That's what we're going to talk about. So I'm super excited and I can't wait to talk to you guys again next week.
Thanks for listening to the Greater Than Business podcast at www.greaterthanbusiness.com.